Okay, what you're looking at is a series of tough sheds, which are things that people have been living in incrementally in recent years as a result of not only limited space, but the economy as well. Now, this would also include other reasons like prepping for major disasters to come, whether they be natural or geopolitical. So we'll come up and we'll glance at what they're asking for, give people a little bit of an idea of the price range. So this is a base price, excluding upgrades, $3,300. And this is a 10 by 12. And it looks like it may already have the top part built. I myself have one that was built by the Amish in Alamosa, Colorado back in 2016, and I still live in it to this day. It's the studio that I use to record the videos off the grid using solar power. And what I want to do is just look at the pricing. One thing that I have heard is that some of the Amish built ones are a little better than the Home Depot ones. This one is $3,000, and so for people that may have credit, looks like there is a payment plan. So the main thing that you need to know about purchasing one of these is that you can have it on your property. One thing that a lot of people don't have any knowledge about, that have never been homeless and have never actually lived off the grid or on the road, is that usually these things are fine if you already have a home, just like an RV. It's when you have a plot of property where you don't have anything or a septic system that you're usually going to have issues with the county, unless you're in somewhere, a county where they're not at the moment bothering anyone. We'll go inside for just a minute. So this also looks like this is 10 feet across. This feels like 12 feet. And so you're getting an idea. This is something that seems a lot smaller than the one that I have, but it's pretty similar in size, but just a little bit smaller. And so there's some places where they have a land use code where they say you have to have this, that, and the other because the state may be breathing down their neck to change their land use code. But they may not have the teeth and the resources in every single county to boot the people off their property. That's also an immoral thing to do. So people out of desperation are living in things like this, not because they want to, but because they have to. Now, this particular county that I'm in doesn't allow someone to live in something like this on their own property. But there are other counties and places that are smaller with less enforcement. And so there is an exodus from the West Coast to places in Middle America. A lot of people are buying retirement homes and other properties, and they're driving up the values of the land. Then there's people that are like me, extreme poor folk, that may have spent some time without a home in the city of their birth. And that's my story. Homeless for a year, living out of my vehicle in Portland, Oregon. But I always knew that my dream was to live off the grid in Colorado. And so I've been able to, we'll take a look from the backside, have some experience visiting different counties and regions. And ever since they legalized marijuana, which a lot of people that voted for it actually wish they didn't. There are people that voted for the legalization of marijuana. Some people wish that they didn't. And the reason why is because of all the people that moved here. And some of the people that have moved here, and I'm not going to marginalize any region that they came from, but some people are pretty trashy. And some people aren't very educated, and some people aren't very knowledgeable when it comes to various specific things regarding world events, politics, have and have-nots, reasons why people have been forced out of the places that they've been born into. There can actually even be, but no one's really covering the story, a sharp increase in people of color that are moving into Middle America and some conservative areas, which may be freaking out some elements of conservative America. But if they're going to be so critical of the left, if they're going to be so critical of some of these cities, then they need to come to a certain level of understanding that there's a reason why some people are freeing or fleeing those places, or freeing themselves from those leftist strongholds with their failed social policies. There's going to be people of color and people that are white, both together fleeing unconscious areas in the United States to where their politics are just simply not working. to where their welfare state is just simply not going to work for them. You know, expecting the police to protect them in gun-free zones and things of that nature is just not going to work for them. And on it goes. And so there's a deeper reason why the off-grid movement is growing. And unfortunately today, the off-grid movement doesn't really have much of a voice, let alone a nonpartisan voice. And so as more people go off-grid, more people are going to be looking for answers, right? As to how to live off-grid. Others are going to want to know why they're leaving mainstream society. Thank you for making your stop to Answers Answers. We'll be back with more. While recording the last video, a man pulled over to pretty much eavesdrop, and he moved his car around a couple times to keep close proximity to me while I was filming. I've noticed a very sharp increase in people acting in paranoid ways. They're never people of color, and so I can say that without saying something that'll offend people like they're white. So they're never people of color when this happens, and there is a sharp increase in people getting panicky when they see me filming. And this is because they're being told that terrorists are out to get them, and they're looking for weak U.S. targets and infrastructure. This is what they're told. This is what they believe. This is what they're scared of. This is what they're scared of. This is what makes them worry. People that they don't know in their community with dark complexions that clearly aren't Hispanic or Native American, they worry about that. They wonder if it's safe. And so I have eyeballs on me every time I cover.